Well, that's the thing too. Like I personally, the thing is, I know I could be doing my YouTube channel so much better, but I don't just want to focus on one thing. Like I love travel. I love tech. Sometimes I like doing cooking. I started doing vlogs. I love doing vlogs. So like my channel is like, we don't know what you are. And I'm like, I don't either, but I'm going to make the content that I want to make. And like, thankfully, like I've been working with, I hate to say it because it makes me feel kind of guilty, but I feel like this year, the past year, like I've got to work with so many brands that I never thought that I would be able to work with. So just being able to like do what I want, when I want, and still being able to work so closely with these brands has been like a blessing. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to just limit it to this. Like maybe I want to travel. Maybe I want to do this. And like, I don't know. I've just been having a lot of fun doing it that way.
Welcome to Geared Up. I'm Andrew Edwards.
I am John Rettinger.
Geared Up is your weekly look at the world of tech and gadgets. John.
Let's do it. Announce it.
We're announcing it. Listen, last time this happened, you didn't even get to experience the magic.
It's true.
I forget what I missed. You were just on vacation. You were away. You did not care enough to be here. And I needed a co-host. And who did I turn to? None other than what may have been the greatest co-host I'd ever had.
If you tease it, one of the hardest working people in the industry. People don't appreciate the work, having seen the work that this guest puts in behind the scenes.
I agree with you.
You can appreciate every ounce of content that they put out.
Yes. Her name is Jenna Ezarik. Jenna, how are you doing today?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to live up to that, but thank you. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing great. You just got to be you. That's it. That's how you live up to it.
I am always just me. Point. Always. So what you see is what you get, which is scary.
And we did see a lot prior to hitting the record button today.
We did.
that was like the most entertaining part of the show, which no one got to see. Jenna running around on FaceTime.
It's not working.
Trying to make things work. She could hear us. We could hear you too, but the headphones weren't working. You are wearing a pair of Sonys right now, not the AirPods Max.
Yes, I got the Sonys. They just kind of fit my head nicer. The AirPods wouldn't connect. Nothing would connect to Bluetooth. FaceTime wasn't connecting. There was a lot going on, and now I'm very sweaty from running around.
So wait, I have a question. I've been waiting to ask this since I knew you were coming on.
Ooh, here we go.
Nothing tech related. So you and your sister went on what looked like an amazing road trip, and you took your car. Is that correct?
This is the first topic I have here, so go for it, John.
Oh, yes.
And from what I understand, you had one of the more interesting fan interactions that I have ever. I had so many questions.
Yeah.
Like what? So what happened?
The best meet and greet.
Well, so we're not really talking about what happened, but I can give you a lot of things happened. Obviously, for the past year, we've been stuck inside, and it's been kind of, for me personally, I wanted to focus on traveling because I love travel. And obviously that did not work out as well. So we had a couple weeks where we're like, you know what, let's just go on a road trip. Let's get out of LA because LA is very, very crowded. There's a lot of people. I walk outside, I see hundreds of people at any point, and I'm just like, I want to go. I want to get nature. I just want to get away from people. So I've been working a lot with Chevy and GM, and I've always rented like a Chevy Tahoe anytime I go on a trip just because it has so much space and it's like my personal favorite thing to drive. So Chevy was like, yeah, sure, we can loan you a Tahoe. So we literally got a car within 24 hours. They gave us the car and we packed it up with basically every piece of tech that we own, and we just drove with no plan. As you can imagine, it went well, but then it also went, everything that could possibly happen basically happened. There was, a minor car accident, which unfortunately I can't say any more about, but there was a car accident. I was actually supposed to come up to Washington, and I was like, we can do a social distance podcast. We've been shooting podcasts in the back of our trunk. We have like 20-foot long XLR cables, and then you guys got a very bad snowstorm. So
yes, a
lot happened. It was very action-packed. The dog ran away for a little bit. Our friends lost their wallet.
What?
Yeah. But we're all okay.
I guess I don't think I've ever actually told this story out loud, but a couple years ago, Lexus came out with their new LF. It's like their crazy sports car, the first time they had it. And there were like 3 in America. Mm-hmm. And they were like, hey, do you want to check out this awesome orange one? And I was like, absolutely. So one of the guys that I work with asked if he could borrow it for the weekend to drive. Saturday night at 12:30, my phone rings. Like 12:30 a.m. I totaled the car.
What?
I mean, like, just the story I was told was that he was driving on a winding road, as one does late at night, and there was a coyote, and he swerved to avoid said coyote, and instead hit a tree. No, I'm a trusting man, so I went by its word. Lexus was less trusting, and became quite a investigation. So, I feel you, and I'm sorry if I brought something up that was unable to be discussed.
I mean, it's not like a whole thing. Honestly, like we were just stopped, like completely stopped, and like someone hit us. So like I literally did not. I was sitting because the traffic was. I mean, there was obviously like rain and like things were kind of frozen. And you know, when there's a line of cars in front of you stopped, you stop.
Stop.
Well,
sure.
You know, the person behind me,
sometimes
I don't think may have been a little distracted. Just didn't stop. So I personally did nothing wrong, and Chevy has been incredible, but you know, everything, I mean, accidents happen all the time, and just thankful that everyone was okay, and you know, cars can be replaced, but it's just like that good reminder to like pay attention to the road. Like
pay attention.
You know, who knows if you're on your phone, but like texts can wait, calls can wait. Like it's very important to pay attention to the road. People can wait.
Okay, so you were on this vacation. Everything that could have went wrong did, which I kind of feel like in a way is what makes vacations memorable.
Absolutely.
Like, things just go wrong all the time. And like, if you just expect that to happen as part of like road trips or travel, it kind of changes your mindset from it being a terrible experience to like, oh yeah, that crazy thing happened. But let me ask you this as a content creator. So if people don't know, like you do basically what the rest of us here on this call do. We make content for YouTube and other platforms. Mm-hmm. We talk about technology. How long were you gone?
Around 3 weeks.
Okay, so for 3 weeks, like I can't imagine myself being gone for 3 weeks and trying to make not just video content, but podcasting. Like there's photos of you sitting in the trunk of a car with headphones on and the Rodecaster, whatever.
Yeah, the Rodecaster.
Like in the trunk recording podcast. Like, can you take us through how you went from, hey, let's get out of here, LA is crowded, to also we still have a job to do. Let's make sure we can continue doing our job despite the fact that we're on the road for 3 weeks. Like, how do you do that?
Did you know it was going to be a 3 week trip?
Yeah, I mean, we literally had like 3 weeks blocked off. We're like, all right, we're just going to do this. We didn't plan enough in advance to like, it's like we ended up at one murderous Airbnb. But basically, we packed up all the tech that we needed. We packed up the Rodecaster, we packed up the mics. I personally brought 2 MacBooks and a Surface Book. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll stream. Like I brought all my streaming gear. We had literally like everything that we needed to do our jobs, which I mean, was kind of scary when we thought about it. We're like, there's a lot of money in this car right now. But yeah, we just packed everything up because we're like, it's not really a vacation. Like we just need to get away and like get like motivation and get that like creative energy back just because we were just feeling so like stuck. So the good thing about the Tahoe, which was something that we discovered a little bit late. So I was doing most of the driving and my sister Justine, she was in the passenger seat and she literally was editing. Like there were some days we were driving for 8 hours. Like she would edit for 3 hours and the car actually had the built-in hotspot. She uploaded this one video in like 10 minutes. The upload speed was like 40 when we were driving. I'm like, what? So like I would drive and like she would just be editing and like uploading. Like she uploaded actually the entire podcast one time from the passenger seat. So we were like, whatever, we're just going to go and make it work. And
that's incredible.
I guess we did.
I think people don't realize, and the amount of work that you guys do. I mean, as someone who's been to events with you guys and seen you guys work and then knows you guys, you know, as friends, like the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, the amount of content that you and your sister produce either jointly or separately is astounding. And I don't think I could keep that pace up for like a month, let alone a year. And it's admirable for somebody who creates content to see somebody else do it, I think, much better.
You know what I like though? You know what I like about Jenna?
Oh no.
Jenna does. You know how I preach this all the time, and I feel like I sound like a broken record sometimes, where it's like, if you're a content creator, do not just focus on one platform. Do not just put all your eggs in one basket. Try to be in as many places as you can. And Jenna does this.
My eggs are scattered.
If I open YouTube, there she is. Then I go over to Instagram. She's in there. TikTok, Twitter. Like, she is a legit business woman.
I try.
It's kudos.
Thank you. Well, that's the thing too. Like, I personally, the thing is, I know I could be doing my YouTube channel so much better, but I don't just want to focus on one thing. Like, I love travel. I love tech. Sometimes I like doing cooking. I started doing vlogs. I love doing vlogs. So like, my channel is like, we don't know what you are. And I'm like, I don't either, but I'm going to make the content that I want to make. And like, thankfully, like, I've been working with, I hate to say it because it makes me feel kind of guilty, but I feel like this year, the past year, like, I've got to work with so many brands that I never thought that I would be able to work with. So just being able to like do what I want, when I want, and still being able to work so closely with these brands has been like a blessing. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to just limit it to this. Like, maybe I want to travel. Maybe I want to do this. And like, I don't know. I've just been having a lot of fun doing it that way.
Maybe you want to talk about bidets.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was great. It's the best. It's the best.
So you got this bidet and you're like, you have to do a video.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I got one, like, it's probably like 18 months ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so first of all my friends are like, what are you doing? Like, you're not going to be able to turn this into content.
Yeah.
How are you going to turn this into a video? Why are you just accepting brand deals for crazy things? And I was like, no, this is going to be great. So I lean into the humor. I make the video. The video does very well. But then when the pandemic starts, all of a sudden everybody's into hygiene. And the sales of bidet from my link skyrocket. Like, I think in 2020, I sold like 6,000 bidets.
No.
Like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. So by not shying away, again, this is the business of what we do. By not shying away from a product and trying to think of a way to like fit it in for my audience and all that, it paid off very handsomely. What you did though, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no. I was just going to say, like, because I got into it a little bit later. It was like mid-pandemic. Yes. And I was thinking, I never want to experience not having toilet paper. Like, the toilet paper drama of 2020. I was like, that's true. I want nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to live in fear. So that was my take from it. I was like, this is real. This is real life. Like, this is happening.
Right. You had a totally different take. Your video works just as well. It's like a different spin, but still like knowledgeable. Like, I think that's part of the, like, what we do, right? Is like, here's a product. How can I explain or fit this into my typical content and messaging versus just, that's too out of left field, I'm just going to say no.
Can I add something? Can I add 2 points to this? Because first, I'm currently debating a bidet deal right now. And it's a company that makes bidets and some air purifiers. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't think I can do a dedicated video on a bidet.
Oh, you can.
Well, now I'm thinking I can, but also the part about like making it fun and humorous can sometimes bite you. I got kind of stuck in a little bit of controversy the past couple weeks ago with Intel, with a video. I don't know if anybody's even aware of this. I don't think I've even talked about it. So Intel reached out about a month ago now. Like, hey, everybody loves the M1 Mac. Can you do a video on one of our new platforms that talked about like some of the things that you can do on Intel that you can't do on Mac? You can say whatever you want. Just like, can you mention the platform and what it can do? I was like, sure. So we talked about, how I use an M1 MacBook Air. It's the computer I'm on right now. I love it. Some things it can't do, right? If I want to do, gaming, I can't plug an eGPU into it. I can't use my Samsung T7 with the fingerprint reader because some things just don't work. And it was fine. The video did okay. It was like 92% thumbs up, a couple 100,000 views. It was fine. And then about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, Intel did an ad campaign. I saw their like Twitter campaign. Yep. And it was hard. They like attacked Apple. And then they tweeted out my video.
Oh,
I have gasped.
So, Mac Rumors picked it up. Like, oh, here's Intel's ad campaign. And they're also sharing YouTuber John Rettinger's video. And they didn't like editorialize it at all. And then like 9 to 5 picked it up. And that video went from 90 something thumbs up to 23% thumbs up. And then I started getting barraged. And again, this video had been up for 2.5, 3 weeks. Barraged with messages from people and colleagues who were like, what happened? What did they do? Why did you do this? I was like, what's factually inaccurate in my video? Mm-hmm. Like, the first thing I said was like, I use a MacBook Air. Like, I love it. But Intel, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this, but whatever. It's my podcast. But sometimes brands can take a very different approach, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have your own examples where, an innocuous video where you sort of took a approach on a video has come back to bite you.
Oh yeah.
And so there is definitely a downside. I haven't done this in years. I took a break from Twitter for a week.
Oh man.
I just didn't go on the platform. I was like, I'm out. We just got a new dog. That's all I'm going to do.
There you go. No, I've definitely been there. Oh, I don't even know if I want to say it, but let's just say one time Facebook created something where you could use it to video chat, and I made a video about it because I was excited. And boy, oh boy, I don't know if I ever came back from that one. But yeah, I get it. But the bidet, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know which brand this is, and I'm pretty sure it might be a similar one. So like, if you want to like FaceTime me to be in your video, if you want an exclusive interview, like I will be on it. Like I will do it for free.
We can all be on our bidets.
I will be like, this is live.
Yes, please.
Live from the bathroom. What is your water temperature? Mine is hot.
Because like this is a discussion. Like I can't do it. Like, can I do a donation to like a water charity and then do like a giveaway? So like, and I'm coming off the back to the Intel thing where I'm like, I don't want to piss anybody off. Like, I just want a week where nobody's calling me names on the internet.
At the end of the day, you have to do you. Okay, this is a business. But like, I actually love it. And I'm like, this is so great. Like, there's a pandemic. People were fighting over toilet paper. Like, I don't want to have a cold bottom when I sit on my toilet. Like, this is great. I am living my best life right now. So I actually do not regret that. I think people were really confused, but they're also like, hey, you post weird stuff all the time. Like, this makes sense for me.
Make it fit. Just own it. Just own it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is tech.
And I'll collab.
All right. Yeah, so I am definitely going to hit you up when I get to that. It's a couple integrations in a dedicated, so I pushed the dedicated can down the road a while.
Yeah. I wanted to call it
We're just gonna roll up the integration.
I wanted to call it my crappiest review yet, but I was like, I can't do that. So
oh my God, fantastic.
You know where to find us.
Yeah. So there's a lot of inside baseball on this podcast, like the stuff that goes on.
Yes. People like that sometimes.
Sorry, I took us down a very weird turn here.
We'll go back. We'll get back into our typical stuff, though. I think before we get into like some device news and rumor and all that, John wanted to bring up crypto.
Yes. Have you purchased your castle yet?
No. And then I was starting to get a little worried the castle might not happen with the recent dips, but you got to buy the dip. I bought some Bitcoin.
So have you've gotten into crypto? Is it a recent thing? Is it something that you've been into for a while?
So I got into it early 2017. I think is when I first bought Ethereum, which was like $40. My friends bought it like $20, and I'm like, yo, why didn't you tell me? But now looking back, I'm like, oh, okay. I had no idea what I was doing. Literally just like downloaded Coinbase. Was like, I don't know. Like I have some money that, sure, whatever. Let's just see what happens. So I rode the high of 2017, and then I rode the low, the past couple of years. And now it's exciting again because I never did anything. I never touched anything. But now I'm trying to be more educated about it instead of just being like, oh, buy this, buy that, like the hearsay. So it's definitely fun. It's very interesting. And I don't know, I just like the technology behind it, and everything about blockchain is just like fascinating. So it's just fun. It's like gambling.
It is very much like gambling right now, and especially now where they're like, you seem like you turn around and like someone's like, I just made $400,000 today. And you're like, what's happening in the world? It's a very strange time right now.
The FOMO is real, and it's painful because
so real.
Like as an adult, I should be responsible, and I am terrible. I feel like I am so bad at making decisions, and I'm like, this is a good investment. And then I lose 60% on my AMC investment and my stocks. I'm like, you idiot. Why would you do that? Like,
did you jump into GameStop and that kind of stuff?
I didn't, which thankfully I didn't, because when I was going to pull the trigger, it was at like 3 something. And then it literally just tanked. So
bottom fell out.
It's back up today.
I have, is it back up?
It's back up today.
So I thought today was, didn't know today was Monday. But yeah, so I mean, I have a real person who obviously I have invest money for me, but like for me, I'm like, I want to do hands-on. Like I want to do like, that's why I liked crypto, because it was fun, and then actually you got me into public, and like that has been so much fun, even though
for sure
I've made bad decisions, but like I like it, and I like learning about it because it's like not something I was taught in school, and it's like something you have to like teach yourself. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, let's talk about in case anyone's curious what Public is, I'll just put links to what the stuff we're talking about in the show notes. First thing I want to talk about real quick, and want to get your guys' opinion on, because I feel like this is kind of unprecedented when I think back in time. Today, we are almost 4 months from the launch of both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. 4 months in, and it's still almost impossible to find either of these consoles. And when they do go on sale anywhere, they sell out within like a single minute. If you're 30 seconds late, you're probably not getting one. Like, is this, again, 4 months later, can you think of any other product that has had this kind of craziness behind it?
No. Are we still blaming
even iPhones don't do this?
True.
Are we still blaming chip shortages for this, or is this just like demand is crazy?
True. I mean, is it like the manufacturing because of like the whole pandemic? I feel like that at the beginning that was a problem with like production, but I don't know if that's still.
You would think, okay, this is my completely I don't know the answer to that question, but what other consumer electronics are out there right now that people are having a hard time getting their hands on? It's like video cards and these.
True.
Right? Like
nothing else. I mean, iPhones come out, you can't get them for like maybe a month, but after that, you just walk into a store and grab one.
Yeah, true. Even like the graphics cards, like the 3090s, 3080s, like it's very hard to get. Like, are more people just being like, I'm home, might as well, upgrade my system?
I feel like this is their side hustle now. Like, it's almost like a subculture to just try to hunt PS5s. PS5s come out, you don't even want it for yourself. You just want to, let me buy them because like they're just scarce. And then I'm going to resell them or like take pictures for social media with like 18 PS5s behind me just to flex on the world. Like, this is how people are spending their time now. This is the side hustle. This is the flex. They don't even want them.
Everybody's got to do something. Everybody's got to do something. We're all stuck at home for now a year.
True. And now
we'll take a 3-week road trip.
Oh God, maybe don't. But now with bots too, like the bots, I feel like are making it so much, harder for a normal person to get it. But I did see the Best Buy, like you have to, because I was trying to buy some to do a giveaway. I was like, oh, I want to do a giveaway, thinking like, oh, no problem. I mean, I wasted hours like trying to find PlayStations, and I did eventually find an Xbox. But yeah, like, so the Best Buy process now, it's like you can put it in your cart, then you have to like wait until it like says, okay, actually add it to your cart. And then a lot of it, it's only you can pick up in store, so that it's not even shipping. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this is a lot of effort.
It's too bad. I mean, I don't know how. So I didn't get sent a PlayStation by Sony. I got the Xbox from Microsoft. I didn't get it but the first time that I went to buy one, I just hit, like it was no problem.
Huh.
So I had no clue how incredibly lucky I was. It was the very first pre-order. I just went in and it took me like a couple of clicks, like a couple of refreshes. And okay, I got it. I'm in. I'm good. 4 months later, like I've had people that ask me to help them. Like, I can't get it anywhere. Can you help me? I'm like, sure. I have not been able to do it. Like, it's just impossible.
Yeah, my sister was like, I need help trying to get her husband. He wanted the headset. And I was like, oh, it shouldn't be hard. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, this was way too hard. Like, it's really.
Even the headset?
The headset, it was sold out. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was like staring at Best Buy, like trying to help her get this for like a Christmas present, which I did eventually get it because I don't like to give up on things and I get very determined. So I was like sitting there like waiting. I'm like, is that going to turn? Add to cart. And it eventually did. But yeah, it is very interesting. Like, I wonder if are people still paying higher prices for this?
They're going, I'm looking up right now. They're going, PS5s are going for over $700 online.
What?
Jeez. I mean, they were over 2,000.
They were. Yeah. You're right.
I mean, they're dropping.
True. Well, during the holidays, they're like, oh, I can make some money. But then it's like, what? I would be so scared I'd get scammed. I have trust issues, so.
No, I mean, no one wants to get scammed. Okay, listen. I'm sending you guys our next topic. I'm sending you guys a text right now. Okay. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's just a short video clip.
I'm scared.
All right. This
is from MyHeritage. It's a product they're calling Deep Nostalgia. And what you do is you upload a photo of someone and they will turn it into a video using AI.
Whoa.
So I'm sending you a photo of someone who is no longer living.
This is your family member?
No, it's not my family member.
Okay.
This is from their website, but it does work today, and I have tried it. So you can upload a photo of someone, and they will turn it into almost like an iOS live photo, where they will animate the person. They will make them blink. They'll make them smile. They'll make them do facial expressions that they are not doing in the photograph as a way to kind of bring them back.
Whoa.
Or you can just upload a still photo of yourself, and then it's way less creepy. But what do you guys think about this? Because when I saw this, I was like,
I can't wait to upload a picture.
Yeah, I want to upload and see how real it is to myself. But I don't know. My mouth is open because I'm thinking about this. I'm like, this is crazy. And it looks really good.
Right.
It looks amazing.
So what's crazy is this is just the beginning where it's just a photo, but you can imagine them taking maybe 10 pictures of someone and creating a 3D avatar that can take their voice attributes and almost act like an Alexa or Siri in your home. Wow. Hey, grandma, I need advice about whatever. And this fake AI version that looks and sounds just like them.
This is
just available to you.
They have pictures of statues that are moving and talking of Alexander the Great.
Oh my gosh. No.
This is wild. And just talking and moving. I mean, it's like the Haunted Mansion statues come to life.
Oh my gosh. I just clicked the website. I feel funny. I don't know how to feel.
It's so weird.
It's really
this is
interesting.
It's the kind of thing that I feel like for us is weird because we're just seeing this for the first time. But in 10 years or whatever, it's just no big deal. It's just what you do. 20 years from now, no big deal. If someone passes away, here's how you can preserve their memory.
True. I mean,
going forward.
I feel like now, the time frame that we live in, we just have so much photos and videos of everything anyway. But it's there's never going to be a time where we don't have this technology from here on out. So 20 years ago, we didn't have that. But I don't know. Right. So it's will we be doing that if, we still have pictures and videos of people? Are they going to be, they're not going to probably be doing that in 20 years for just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it is crazy that we use our phone. I'm sure you guys take insane amount of photos and videos every day of you're why am I taking this? But just to have that to look back on is pretty cool. But this is creepy. I like it. I'm going to try it.
All right, Andrew. Good topic.
Yes.
Good topic.
Next topic.
I'm giving you credit for a good topic.
Good topic. Thank you. Well, so the one thing that makes me, I don't know, worry is too strong a word, but some people, I feel like there will be a percentage of the population who will cling on to this new virtual version of someone because if their mental health isn't right, they really miss someone, whatever. They cling on to this new thing versus the real memory of the real person. So I always try to think what are the potential pitfalls? Not saying this is why this shouldn't be a thing, but Elon Musk always says AI is going to be the potential downfall, and I'm always where? Because until he said that, I was I'm all in for AI. This is fantastic. Where is the potential issue with these different things? And I can see how this could be a negative depending on the kind of personality type or mental headspace that you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
If you want to check it out, it's Deep Nostalgia at MyHeritage.com. You can upload photos right now and turn them into virtually moving 3D people.
What's the URL there? It's just Deep Nostalgia?
I think it's myheritage.com, and then Deep Nostalgia is a feature on the website.
Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see me personally doing anything with it, but because then who knows? Maybe I'll get obsessed with it and I'll be like, oh my gosh, what is this person going to look like? Yeah. Oh
yeah,
no.
That's what I mean.
Very cool.
Let's move into some iPhone stuff. We are going to talk about some rumors of this year's, next year's, and the year after. But first, another quick thing that just I was hearing about earlier this week from someone. They were saying the contact sharing API. If you don't know what this is where your iPhone will ask you hey, do you want to share your photos with this app? Or do you want to share specific photos with this app? Or do you want to give this app access to your location? There's an API called the contact sharing API where an app can ask you, will you share your contacts with us? Clubhouse is the latest one, this big one that's been doing this. And I never thought about this until the person brought it up to me. Do you think that your address book and contacts belongs to you? Or do you think that the content in your address book belongs to the people who are in there? So in other words, do I have the right to give Clubhouse John Rettinger's and Jenna Ezarik's information because I want to use the platform? Or is it up to you guys to determine how I use that information? When they said this to me, I was like, you know what? I never thought of it that way. And I am giving a company, I am granting them the ability to use your information how they see fit. Or is it my information? What's your take on this?
I mean, I guess I've actually never thought about it until right now. I guess I was always like, well, this is my information. But yeah, thinking back, like this is everyone in my addresses book information as well. I mean, do we even have privacy anymore? At this point, like,
good question.
It's tough. I just feel like, yeah, I've never thought about that before. I know with photos, I'll always like, if it's a specific app, I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to select which photos. So why couldn't it kind of be the same thing? Like maybe select, like just use my contact information, like, or this person's, like not my entire list. So that is very, very interesting. I have never thought about it until this second. It's invasive.
I'm going to go out there and say that any semblance of privacy is no longer accurate. And as soon as you give somebody your information, like give your contact, they essentially own that information. So while I don't like it, I can certainly, I think I can understand it at least more than some of the other sort of gross, going to your photos album and stealing your pictures, that kind of thing. I don't like any of it, but I think it's sort of the new reality of just being online is the digital footprint just gets bigger and bigger kind of day by day. And that's just the natural expansion of it.
Would Apple build the contact sharing API today if they were releasing, you know what I mean? This has been there for a decade and a half.
Sure.
If they were building it today, I feel like this wouldn't even be a thing. They would not create a feature that allows an app to ask you, because a lot of these things are just a prompt and most people don't realize what they're saying yes to. So would Apple even do this? Should they change this? Should they deprecate it and just remove it? I kind of feel like the answer is yes. Like why does anyone need access to your entire, and by the way, when you give this access, you're giving it future access as well. So anytime you add someone new, like they don't re-ask you again. They just have access from then on. But why would an app need that? Other than for marketing purposes, it seems like a strange leftover from days past that should probably go away, even though, as John just said, privacy is, I like how Apple's trying to at least do something in this area where not many others are.
Yeah.
But when I think about how many people have shared my information with apps, as private as I want to be, other people have spoken for me in this way. And so it's already out there anyway.
Yeah, I 100% am like rethinking everything I've ever done and every time I've ever hit allow in my life. I'm like, oh no, I have regrets. But I mean, I do wish that wasn't the case, because even like, I don't even know what app I've logged into. Maybe it was a Telegram, and I haven't been logged in for the longest time. And then I get all these messages from like my contacts, like, oh, welcome back. Oh, hey. I'm like, oh, no privacy. I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
Like, no, what have I done? So it is interesting. And I'm definitely going to be rethinking the next time it says allow access to your contacts. I'm like, why? Yeah, what is the point? I mean, I guess
do a privacy audit. If you have an iPhone, you can go into the privacy settings and you can actually see what you've given permission to, and you can take that permission away if you want to. So apps that you've had installed for like 8 years, that you can actually go back and change the things that you've given them. So, okay, let's get on to some news here. John shared this stuff with me earlier today. So we're going to start with this year's devices and we're going to go forward. So starting with this year, this is all from Ming-Chi Kuo, by the way, one of the most accurate Apple analysts when it comes to future products. First, for the 2021 iPhones, whether it's the iPhone 12s or 13, we're going to see the same four models. So mini, standard, Pro, and Pro Max, 2 of which will have a 120 hertz Pro Motion display. I think it's safe to assume that is the Pro models. John is very excited in the video chat. All of which will have a smaller notch, and all of which will have a lightning port. John Rettinger did stake his claim that this year we will see a portless iPhone, at least one. What do you think of this news, John?
I mean, listen, it's very easy to, somebody who puts their neck out there and makes a prediction. It's very easy to, it's like somebody who you're betting on a sporting event and you take the better team and you're like, oh, look at me, I won, I'm better than you. It takes, I'm going to use the word courage, to go out there and to make a bold prediction. I will say
that's true.
Ming Chi Kuo, while being very accurate, is not 100% accurate.
Correct.
So it is certainly until Mr. Cook comes out on stage, I'll believe it when I see it. But also about damn time for a high refresh rate. Like about damn time to get that on a phone.
Yes, you said they should be ashamed of themselves.
Ashamed is the word I used
for not having it this year.
That it's true. I stand by
Jenna,
that.
Yeah.
Jenna, where are you at? Where are you at with these 2021 iPhones?
So, yeah, the refresh rate would be nice. Not really like the biggest thing for me, but it would be nice. So, I want USB-C. I really like having a port. The Lightning, not so much. USB-C, you know how many times I take my MacBook charger and I try to jam it into my phone to charge? It's way too much. It's way too much. It just, I know you're not really supposed to do that, but, well, you can't. I also would like Touch ID back. Especially, I still like
big time on that one.
With the masks, obviously, like can't imagine it's going to be going away anytime soon. And I miss having the Touch ID.
So let me give you a quote from Mr. Ming Chi Kuo. Again, he's not 100% accurate, but he did say this: there is no visibility on the current schedule for Apple to bring power button Touch ID or USB-C to iPhones. So those 2 things that you just said you would love to see do not seem to be on the radar, if he's correct, which he could be incorrect. We don't know.
So I'm hearing portless for one there. And, it's all going to be done via magnets and no cords at all to worry about.
Oh,
all right.
I mean, with my tech issues earlier of getting my Bluetooth not able to connect, like I would have loved to just put in the little headphone jack and plugged it in like a normal phone, but I couldn't do it. And I was panicking. Like I was running around this house trying to find anything to connect to this phone. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I was very sweaty, but I was like, oh my gosh, nothing will connect to this phone. So I like having the ports as an option just because, things go wrong, things don't connect, but I don't really get a say in it and I'm going to buy it either way. So I'm just going to shut up and see what happens, I guess.
True that. True that. Now, the smaller notch, the thing for me with the notch is I feel like peers in the tech world hate it, but I also feel like the average consumer thinks it's actually cool. Like, look how the screen wraps around and curves and all. This is cool. I've never seen a screen like this. I've seen so many people like that. So smaller notch though this year, but 2022.
That's the year.
Some phones, he says some phones will abandon the notch for a hole punch display. So this would be similar to what Samsung does, where instead of a notch, you just have a punched out hole. I am curious how they have the entire Touch ID or Face ID array, because it's more than just one hole. That's why we have a notch in the first place. And an iPhone SE with 5G support. So that's a forward looking for 2022. That not a lot of information there, just no notch, hole punch, and then a 5G iPhone SE. But I want to get what is your take on the notch? Is the notch terrible? Is the notch no big deal? How do you feel about this?
I mean, the notch doesn't really bother me, except sometimes when like I look at it and then I'm like watching a show on my phone and then I can't unsee it. So I'm like, oh gosh, it doesn't bother me. I feel like I'm used to it at this point. I do like the hole punch design. It's just obviously not as, invasive and takes up less space. The one thing I do like is I like having a little bit of bezel, because even with like the Samsungs and like those fuller things, like I'm always touching something and I'm like, wait, where did my thing go? So, as long as I still have that type of feel to it, I like that. But I think I could get on board with the hole punch, but it would be interesting, like you said, with the Face ID and all of that, especially if we're not going to have a Touch ID in the future. But I'm so simple.
Well,
I just don't care.
Well, Minchi Kuo said no touch ID in the power button, but it didn't say anything about under display.
True. That is true.
So that's a big potential difference there, at least.
That is true. Yes. How do you feel about notches, John?
I mean, I'm not the biggest notch fan. I mean, no one like loves a notch. I would love to see technology move forward and that there be technology that gives you the functionality of, all the Face ID sensors without the notch being there. I know it's being tested right now. I think Xiaomi has the first under display facial scanning technology happening. So that's awesome. I think that's certainly a very clear future, and facial recognition, as Apple's implemented, is more secure than a fingerprint, which is awesome. So I'm for it. I'm all for it. I don't mind the hole punch either if that's what they need to get the sensors in there. Let's move it forward. I think the notch jokes and all that stuff have long since expired, and I'm ready for a new design though. Like I could deal with.
Wait, we just got a new design. The 12 was a new design.
What have you done? What have you done for me lately, Andrew? I'm ready for something new. It's halfway through its life cycle right now, right?
Do you guys like the new design? Like, I took my case off the other day and I was like, this feels kind of bulky, like heavy.
I completely agree. Here's what I feel like. People just want a new physical design to feel like the phone is new.
Yeah.
But I actually feel like as far as comfort goes, the previous design that they used like 4 years in a row is way more comfortable in your hand.
Yeah.
It looks good. Like the iPhone 12 looks great, but when you're actually holding it, like the 12 Pro Max especially, it feels so much larger than the 11 Pro Max, just due to the shape.
And kind of oddly sharp.
I'm the contrarian here. I love it. And I use the 12 Pro Max. I love it. I love that it feels heavy. I have a weird hands. I have like a freak thumb that's gigantic. Like I can palm a basketball. I'm not a big guy, but I can palm a basketball in 6th grade. So I think that holding it in my hand doesn't feel giant to me at all.
You just said you love it 30 seconds after saying you need a new design.
Well, I do need a new design, but I can still love it.
It's true. That's true.
I loved my first kid and decided I needed another one.
That's very true.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I just looked at my thumbs and I think they're very tiny, and now I'm insecure. I'm like, wait, this makes sense why the phone feels so big.
Great. Now I'm looking at my thumbs and I have no clue what to think.
No.
Thanks a lot.
Oh gosh.
Thanks a lot, guys. Okay, we're moving into 2023 now. 2023 iPhone news. I don't know if this is going to be an iPhone or not, but Minchi Kuo says possible 7.5 to 8-inch foldable device from Apple, plus an all-screen, no-notch, no-hole punch iPhone.
And candy's going to fall from the sky.
Oh my gosh.
Unicorns are going to come back.
I have a hard time believing this, and I'll tell you why. 2021, smaller notch. That's this year. If you know, Apple is one of the most predictable companies out there when it comes to products they already make. We're still predicting what's coming next, but when it comes to the current products, they're pretty predictable.
Yeah.
My opinion is if they're making the notch smaller in 2021, that is technically a new design, and they're going to do that again in 2022 because they keep the same designs for 2 years at least. They never just do away with a design after a year. And then the hole punch display in 2022, they're not going to do a hole punch for 1 year, and then 2023, nothing at all. So I feel like, again, he is not the most accurate. He may be hearing things, but may have the timeline wrong. But when it comes to foldable iPhones or all screen no hole punches, I think the foldable is the more exciting thing, especially for someone like John who just adores foldable devices. John, what do you think when you hear 7.5 to 8-inch fold? This is basically an iPad mini. Mini folding.
Bring it on. I don't think it's going to happen, but great, bring it on. Why not?
Ooh, why not? Why not? Why not? Tell us why. Do you think Apple's just not going to do foldables?
I think Apple will do foldables. I don't think the current technology of the next 48 months is going to give it to the standards that Apple wants. I mean, they figured the amount that they have to come out with, the millions that they have to ship, there's fail rates that are going to be unacceptable in production on that. For the reason allegedly why a high refresh rate didn't make its way for this generation of phone. They're talking about such volume. I just realistically, I would love to be proven wrong, but do not see it happening. I do also have no doubt that they're testing these things. And that's probably what's being heard is that they're 100% testing it. I think John Prosser, actually on this podcast, talked about Apple going for the 2 display route. That kind of came together to form one singular display without any crease in the screen. That's interesting. I could see a 2 display thing happening more than I could see a physical folding display.
Right. What about you, Jenna? You in for foldables? Do you care?
Oh yeah, I am all for like fold that up, put it in my pocket, like let's go. Especially because I feel like this phone right now is so big. So if they ever make a phone bigger, I'm like, I cannot handle this. Like you're gonna have to fold it up because it's too much. But like back to what John said, like it's Apple. So like if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it right. So it comes down to like, is that something that they're able to do? Is it something they want to do? But if they do, like I am here for it. Like I will 100% be on board.
I would camp out again for that phone.
Oh God, I don't know if I can do that, but I will. I'll do it.
I remember those days. I'll do it.
I got like.
I will camp out again for that.
How long did you camp out?
For what?
Like the old school iPhones, right? The original iPhone, 3G, 3GS, iPad days.
I think I did
a 2-day camp out for an Xbox 360.
There you go. I did a
cold as hell
55-hour camp out for the iPhone 6, which I already had ordered, but Justine didn't. So I was like, okay.
Let's do it.
I was like, well, all right. I don't really have anything else to do, 2015.
Wait a minute. Miss Justine did not pre-order an iPhone.
She had some trouble. It wasn't coming right away. So we had to sleep
55 hours.
So we literally went 2 days early to the 3rd Street Promenade Apple store. Like we bought these miniature little Volkswagen kids tents and stayed there for over 55 hours. And it was really hot. It's like September. And I got I think it was like 30, 40 hours in. I had not like a heat stroke, but like heat exhaustion. And I went into REI and was just like so sick for the longest time. But you know what? It's actually, it's one of like the best stories. We met so many incredible people. So I would do it again for a foldable, but probably not a regular iPhone. I almost died.
Which foldable method do you prefer, John? Do you prefer like the open book foldable, or do you prefer the standard iPhone to half size?
I mean, I love that both exist. I know people love like the Z Flip. I mean, people are like,
they do
passionate about it. I prefer a bigger, give me the biggest display that I can get for folding it. So folding it like a book for me, I think is a way to go. But I definitely see why people like the other way.
Same. Yeah, I agree. The book.
Okay. Jenna, can we just be honest with people for 1 second? Because you and I texted about this.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
We have foldable devices that neither you nor I have like plugged in and charged for like the past 3 months.
You speak for yourself. Fair. I plug mine in all.
What? You told me you were.
Are we talking about what I think we're talking about? Which one are we talking about?
Yeah, the Z Fold 2.
Oh, the Z Fold 2. Oh, I thought because I was like, I still use the Duo all the time. So I had to give the Z Fold back, and then I just never bought one. I was like, I don't need all these phones. So
great.
I haven't used it at all. There's too many things. I've been using the S21 Ultra as my second device because it's been really great.
But you've been using the Duo.
Just I bring it with me all the time because it's fun.
I feel like the Duo hype went super high, then it was released and then just gone. No one talks about it.
I just I put it in my backpack just sometimes, and I'll just be doing stuff on it. So, I mean, I don't carry it with me every single day, but on the trip, I was like, yeah, I'm taking the Duo. Who knows? It's just really great for browsing content and watching stuff. But yeah, my main device, the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the S21 Ultra. So 2 very large phones.
Same here. John, what's yours?
I mean, now I feel like I got to be different, but in all honesty, it's the 2 same phones.
Same phones.
I mean, I keep the Z Fold 2 with me just when I just like to open it and play with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the camera setup on the Ultra and the variant you get with the lenses on it, it's a really good. I think Samsung did a really good job. Aside from removing the MFT part of Samsung Pay, I think they did an incredible job with the Ultra.
I agree.
Yeah, the zoom is incredible. I love it's just so smooth, and the digital zoom, and it'll lock on. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much better. And then for video, the autofocus is 6 million times better.
It's so good.
I was like, I forgot how bad it was until I went back and watched my old video, and I was like, oh, that was bad. I forgot.
Yep.
Yeah. So they did a great job.
Yeah. Shout out to Samsung for what they did with the S21 Ultra. It is a fantastic phone.
Great job.
I still think that they let the Snapdragon processor do its thing instead of trying to put in their own software for processing. Nobody will verify for that for me, but I'm relatively certain that's what happened.
I'm with you.
Probably. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Jenna Ezarik, thank you for joining us this week on the show and blessing John with your presence as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
On this episode. If people don't know who you are or what you do, where can they find you if they want to check out your content?
Jenna Ezarik on literally every single platform. So just my name. I kept it easy. And I'm sorry, you never know what kind of content you're going to get. So it's a big surprise every time I upload.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And that is it for this edition of Geared Up. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, you can catch John and I on YouTube. I'm at youtube.com/gearlive and John is at youtube.com/John4Lakers. Feel free to head over and subscribe to our channels to stay up to date on all the latest tech. Speaking of subscribing, you can subscribe to Geared Up in your favorite podcast app if you haven't done so already. Just search Geared Up, that's 2 words, not one, in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Overcast, or really wherever you choose to listen. If you like what we do, please consider leaving us a rating and review. It really helps other people find the show. Geared Up is a Gear Live podcast, and you can see more from us at gearlive.com. Thank you so much for listening. For John Rettinger, I'm Andrew Edwards, and we'll catch you in the next episode.